Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Empower and Empathy. We're the podcast live stream where we explore the power of compassion and personal growth and professional success. I am pleased to be here. Our producer working in the background right now, Mr. Michael Walker, and we have a celebrity guest on hand today, one Mr. David Vermaak. Welcome, David.
Hi there, guys. Good to be hanging with you guys.
Yeah.
In the studio.
Yeah, cool studio, right? So each episode of Empower and Empathy will feature inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips to help navigate personal and professional journeys with empathy and with purpose. So today, last week, we spent some time talking about the importance of a why. And I would like you to meet my why. David Vermaak is my why. No.
His why, not his wife.
No. We had the importance of a why, but this one, we wanted to talk about the evolution of the why, of Golden Community and so forth. And so first, before we get into that, though, let's let the audience get to know my favorite New Zealand, South African friend.
Yuck.
Yuck. You love that, don't you? He hails from the great state of Benoni, South Africa. Benoni, South Africa, right?
Yeah.
I got that right.
Benoni's town, but it's part of Johannesburg.
So
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about David.
Yeah, so came over just over 7 years ago from Johannesburg, South Africa, and got connected over here with various things in finance and eventually the church, and after that started a men's ministry and got connected with Brian and been a part of Golden for 2.5 years now.
Yeah. And we talked about in the past some game changers. We're going to have some episodes in the future about game changers of personal and professional, and David truly was a game changer for our why, and I mean that, David, from the bottom of my heart. And so let me share with you a little bit of that background, and then we can talk about how Golden Community has changed David A.D., I guess. So as you guys know, I started thinking about how this business was way more than just a P&L or a balance sheet. Several different instances and so forth from different things, my faith, understanding that I don't really own anything. My God owns everything, and I'm just a steward or a manager of those things. So if it's not mine, how am I taking good care of it, and what am I leaving in its place, the old Boy Scout rule that we talked about. And so when I started Golden back up 2.0, I knew that, all right, God, if I got a chance, I was going to make this business not about me, but about others, about God and about others. And so early on, I would limp along, and we would have charitable events. We would do serving opportunities. We go to Matthew 25, or we go to the homeless shelter every once in a while, and we did some good stuff. But I just couldn't get any traction going with Golden Community. We would donate some money here or there, but it was just halfway doing things. And so I had befriended a mutual friend of ours, Mr. Mark Kuhnel, and Mark had referred me to you, and so we had gotten to the size where we could afford to pay someone to run it. So David is now our director, if I get this right, Mike. David, director of operations for Golden Community. And so we sat around and we built some vision and mission around it. And so tell me what you first thought when I called you and you thought about this whole Golden Community. What did Mark tell you about it, and what did you think of it when you first got involved?
Yeah, so like Brian said, we've got Mark and our mutual friend, and I think both of us trust Mark's judgment and insight into us, and what this position consisted of. And basically, I had just stepped out of a position in the church to start a men's ministry, but really I needed something that was a tent making, income generating platform but not just that. It needed to be something I could see myself enjoying, being a part of, that energized me, and where maybe some of my interests and passions were also allowed to be bet upon. And working with people, caring for people, helping people, developing people, those are things that I'm passionate about and that I enjoy. So Mark Canal also runs a men's ministry, and him and I had a meeting together, and I said, I'm looking at getting this going, and I'd love to find something I could do part-time that I'd enjoy. And he's like, man, I know this really cool guy, this really shady guy.
Yeah, that's probably what he's saying.
That is looking for someone that he's got a non-profit that he wants to get up and running that would be all about helping people, and immediately that piqued my interest. That's something that's like I've said, that I care a lot about people, and I'm passionate about people, and I love seeing people thrive and develop and be more whole, because I know how messed up I am, and how a part of that is always going to be there while I'm in this flesh. And yet we grow and we develop and we evolve and we're better over time. And I love being a part of that story for other people as I grow and develop myself. So this was a platform that allowed for that to happen. It was in infancy, and we could make it whatever we wanted it to be. And basically Mark was like, hey, it's going to be this nonprofit helping people, creating serving opportunities to serve the community. And I was all ears. Yeah. And we got connected.
Yeah, that's pretty much, you were an answer to prayer for me, because at the end of the day, I was trying to be the CEO of Golden Technology and do this Golden Community thing. And it was flailing. It was there, but it was just limping along. And so the first thing that we did, one of the first things that we did, was go out and get our 501c3, or at least start the application process.
Right, that was quite the journey.
Yes, it was.
Just getting that done, yeah.
How long ago? But it did. Once we figured out what we did right and did wrong, it came, like, how long? Well, from the point we put in the application to the time we got the 501c3.
I think it was 9 months.
9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of different 501c3s, and whether or not we're private 501c3 or a public 501c3. So we learned a lot there, but but outside of the 501c3, we also crafted our mission and our vision of it. So talk a little bit about that, like some of the stuff that you share on the website, and kind of the overall statement there.
Yeah, I think, like Brian said, just in terms of figuring certain things out, and even in terms of the 501c3, Golden Technology is this awesome organization led by Brian, or now owned by Brian, led by Mark Rice. And Brian had found this incredible guy that's gifted and has a lot of ability, and was able to hand over the baton to Mark as CEO. And basically, in the early phases, we knew we wanted a non-profit, and as things evolved, we knew that the organization was going to be funded by Golden Technology primarily, and came to find out later, and this is a bit of a sore point, I think, and even speaking to donors recently who have fidelity funds and stuff like that and want to donate to an awesome organization like us, but they can't, because private non-profits, which we are, and we can't register as anything else unless we get funded by the public primarily, as in like 75%. So public would have to give 75% more than what Golden is funding us, and it's probably just never going to happen.
Yeah, what's so ridiculous about that is I have a charitable gift account with Fidelity. I cannot donate money through that CGA because it's called a charitable gift account to Golden Community. Now I can write personal checks, and you still get the write-offs as a 501c3 there, but these institutions like Schwab and Fidelity, and that have the CGAs, you can't have it come from that over to, which hurts the tax advantages that you would typically get as far as the interest that you would earn while that money was investing with Fidelity or with Schwab. But it was a stinger, but it didn't stop us.
No, I think that's part of the benefit of really the setup that we have being funded by Golden Technology. We know that we're getting this funding. It's not like you're being funded by the public where it's all over the place. We know we've got X amount of budget to work with, and we've got, our board members are actively involved and just incredible people. Basically, to go back to your question, there's been a lot of learning, and really, even as you said, like we've been crafting and shaping what does this thing really look like, because from the beginning the vision was to serve the overlooked and the underserved. Like we want to care for people, and we're specifically interested in caring for people that can't care for themselves and maybe don't have the means or the ability to be cared for. So those are the people that the defenseless, the helpless.
Yeah.
That's who our heart is for. So really, I suppose the journey, Brian, has been figuring out who is that. There's a lot of those people, right? And that's just within the USA.
Yeah.
Then you start going into Africa, India, South America. There's any continent in the world. It starts becoming relative, because the helpless in the USA is a very different type of helpless to the helpless in Africa, for example, where you don't have social security and Medicaid and Medicare and welfare and all these things, right?
Right.
If you don't have, you just don't have, and many don't have any means whatsoever to get any type of help, right? You literally see kids starving to death, lying in the desert somewhere or whatever. I mean, it can get that severe. So even that, it's like going, hey, there's all these needs. Who do we feel we can really care for? Who is the Lord leading us to care for? Because a big part of what we want to do is to create serving opportunities for our people in golden technology to create this culture of serving. And we see that when you serve others, it brings so much richness to your own life, and it's nutritious. And we want to create that culture. Brian's vision all along has been to create that culture in golden technology of selflessness. So that's we've been on that journey to go, who fits in that box and who's the Lord leading us?
And we're constantly trying to figure it out, right? And what I love about it is we're not just writing checks. I love how you call it mind, body, and soul. A holistic approach to the development of the individual. And I refer to it as family, finances, fitness, and faith. And so for Golden Community, me being a Christian, I know I have a lot of people that are in this organization that are sitting in India, Sikhs and Hindus and Muslims and people that just don't know or believe have an understanding of it. Instead of me batting them over the head with my belief, I'd rather just show them my belief, and I do it very imperfectly. It's I'll steal a phrase from a friend of mine. We're just broken people trying to help broken people. And so, tell me a little bit about. We have kind of different arms of Golden Community now. We have our grants that we give out, that is pretty much kind of money driven, and then we have our serving opportunities or serving solutions opportunities that we do. So tell us a little bit about this year's, we'll start with the grants, a little bit about what we're doing from a grant standpoint from Golden Community.
Yeah. So we've got, I think, 8 organizations that we've helped to fund this year. And I don't know how much you want to get into the numbers around there, but I mean, it's a substantial amount. I think we're at $20,000 an organization. And I think for the most part, I think we're looking at about 160K that we've donated. And just to touch on that, Brian, what was really and continues to be such a conviction for me, and also just a blessing, is seeing your heart. And I've said this to our team the other day, a couple of weeks ago. You don't have to do this. I think all in all, our budget for Golden Community this year, the giving from Golden Technology to Golden Community is close to or over $300,000. And you, as the owner of this organization, could take all of that money. And, it's one thing to go, hey, we should help people and let's maybe throw a little bit of money. It's another thing to go, well, I could have a holiday house paid off in 3 years, or that Ferrari this year, that Lamborghini next year, whatever. You could channel this money to yourself. And a lot of CEOs do, and that's fine. but or a lot of business owners, CEOs, whatever you are now, man, business owner and mentor, coach, and
whatever.
Yeah, so
Chairman.
Chairman.
Whatever that means.
So, that's been so cool to see a business owner that genuinely is so selfless. And we're not talking small amounts of money. We're talking significant amounts of money. And we're looking at that growing exponentially over the next couple of years as Golden continues to grow.
Let me jump in there real quick, because I appreciate the accolades, but but I can tell you the benefits of doing life this way is so tremendously more beneficial than focusing on the Ferraris and the vacation homes. Absolutely. And let me give you an example. Early on, when I had Golden the first time, I was that guy. I actually had a Porsche. I was driving a Porsche Boxster with Golden 1.0, and my life was about earning, spending, and then whatever little I had left over, I'd save, and then at the very end, I would give. And through several classes, this Crown Ministry financial management class, we can get into financial game changers for me. I learned that if you flip that upside down, completely upside down, life makes a lot more sense. So you go earning, you got to earn first every time, but then you give, then you save, and then whatever's left over, you spend. And if you change gears that way, and I learned this about 10 years ago, I'm not a Joel Osteen prosperity gospel guy, I definitely not. But at the same time, I believe that if you're a good steward or a good manager of money, the owner of that money is going to give you more money. And so ever since we went to this model, this company has taken off. So I have some ulterior motives. I know that if I'm faithful, my Creator will be faithful to me. And so whether that's He doesn't give me what I want, but He'll give me what I need, and that's plenty enough to provide for my family and maybe eventually have a vacation house somewhere. But for now, let's just keep doing what we're doing. So Yes. I'm not something special. I just decided to do this, and the dividends are tremendous compared to the opposite. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I think I was reading a stat the other day of people that are actually motivated by money, and it's small. It's like 12% or something like that. It's solely money.
They're probably all Gen Xers.
For the most part, people want to be a part of something that is meaningful. They want to know that they're different. They want to know that they're part of something that is making a difference. And I think that's another aspect that's so cool about Golden Technology and its non-profit division, Golden Community. Going back to your question of, the grants, the different facets of Golden Community, is Golden Community creates these serving opportunities for people in Golden Technology, and not just Golden Technology. More and more, we're trying to get our community at large involved. Our dream is wherever there's a Golden Technology presence to have a Golden Community,
right,
and that is influencing and raising up that community, not just by the giving, by actually having our people in Golden Technology serving, and then creating and influencing the community around it to start serving and start having the selflessness and so on. So that's such a cool dynamic. I don't know of many organizations that are doing that. You'll have organizations that will have serving opportunities for their employees and will pay them, but the goal isn't to really enlist the help and influence the rest of the community to also start doing that. Like, we're trying to create that culture, not just only in this organization, but in our community. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and what I've said from the very beginning is this is not a marketing tool for Golden Technology. This is not something to promote the business side of things. And it's tough because you can get tempted to do that from time to time, right? But at the same time, I want people to feel what it feels like when you're serving somebody else, because it actually, I would say the feeling is much better than it is if you're selfish. And so we have about 8 different organizations that we donate to, from people building helping do stuff in Africa, where we're trying to get stuff going inside a Sikh school in India. We have a children's home here.
Inner city ministry.
Yeah, after school care.
We've got St. Louis. We've got a inner city organization, Love the Lou, that we're actually serving at this Saturday.
Coming at you, Liz Blake.
So Brian, myself, and two of our colleagues are tracking from Cincinnati to St. Louis, Missouri, because Golden Technology has a presence there. And one of our awesome team members and colleagues, Elizabeth Blake, who's also just got a heart of gold, massive heart. She's been actively serving of her own accord in the community over there. And one of the organizations that she's been partnered with is Love the Lou, who just does amazing work for inner city peeps in St. Louis, Missouri. And we're going over there to love on Liz and to support her and to love on the people in that community.
Yeah.
So that's exciting and that's cool.
Plus, she's going to feed us Friday night.
I had a meeting with her yesterday, and Liz, I can't wait to come to your house. The menu is
off the hook,
phenomenal, bro. There's like a 5-6 course meal, like no jokes. She's going to town.
Bring it on.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about
doing some
that.
damage.
So all that to say, our culture isn't just about money. It's genuinely about serving people. And we had our big serving day last month.
July 15th.
July 15th, so just over a month ago.
Gosh, I can't believe it was a month ago already.
And just to give an idea of the type of people that are involved in Golden Community, we've got a number of board members, and a couple of them went with, all of them, I think, went to help serve. And one of the projects at one of the houses, which for the inner city organization that we're working with, Block Ministries, they have a home that they're opening up for young men, sort of teens that are that have challenges, at risk, right? And they're starting this home up for them, and we were working and painting on the house and getting it ready for them. Well, they never finished all the work. We never finished all the work on Saturday. And what happened is our board members and their wives of their own accord went back. And I want to ask them too. They said, hey, we want to do this. We want to go and finish this house because we care about these guys, and we want to know that they feel loved and cared for when they go into this place. It's done. So that's significant, Brian.
Because shout out to the Perrys, the Hessegesters, and the Edwards. Those three couples were back on Tuesday to finish the job. Yeah. Without even being prompted.
Because you said 15 minutes ago, it's not just about money. Well, we could, because let's face it, we try to make a big deal out of the day. We promoted it because we were trying to enlist people, but no one will know about those people short of this now.
Yeah.
But those type of things continuously happen in the background. So that's what I love about this organization. It's from Golden Technology, Golden Community, and it just transcends the whole organization. That those are the type of people that are part of this. And I love being a part of this because it is genuinely a selflessness that drives all the people that are part of this.
Yep. And that's a message that you can take away from this is you get your why, but then implement your why and go all in with your why. Because if you don't go all in with it, you'll do it half-assed like I did it for the first 8 years until I got serious about it. And life started making a lot more sense. And so you may not be Golden Community, it may be something else, but have a bigger purpose than trying to stuff your bank account, because that's just worthless. It's a fleeting experience. So there you go. I think we're wrapped up. We're hitting our time. David, thank you very, very much for coming on board. And you've been a game changer for Golden Community. And that's all we have for Empower and Empathy. Peace out, and we'll talk to you next week. Have a great day, everybody.
Cheers.